Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this webinar today, hosted by Arkance Systemsin Finland and AGACAD, collaborative webinar between us two. Today we are covering the topic of best solutions for wooden structure design. The webinar will take around 45 minutes. Here is today's content for the webinar. So first we will have a short introduction of speakers and companies behind. See at status and goals for wood construction in Finland right now, but what is going on in Finland? What are the goals for the upcoming years regarding wooden structure design and wooden building in general? What are the main benefits of the AGACAD Wood Framing Suite for Revit that Eve, my co-host, will be presenting today. So then at 4 we have the Wood Framing Suite product demonstration, and 5 the last topic will be the discussion and questions that you might have after Eva has given the presentation. But let's jump to the first part, so to the introduction of the speakers and companies. Since I'm already in the voice here, I'll start by presenting myself. So my name is Vincent Wiik. I'm an account manager here at Arkance Systems, and my portfolio mainly consists of Autodesk solutions, which are then also, or which AGACAD solutions also strongly relate to, and they have this sort of synergy, or AGACAD solutions, of course, help utilize Revit even better. And with me today I have Eve. Would you like to shortly present yourself as well?
Hello, everyone. My name is Eve, and I'm an architect and a BIM consultant or BIM application engineer here at AGACAD. I'm glad to be participating, and I hope you'll find this presentation helpful. So me and also my colleagues here at AGACAD, we are not professionals in wood or metal framing or precast concrete constructions, but our customers are. So our work is driven by customer needs, which we meet by developing extensions and BIM solutions. We gather insights and experience from the world's most advanced BIM professionals in order to develop solutions that eliminate unnecessary tasks, save our clients time and money, so they can focus on what actually creates value.
Perfect. Thank you, Eve. Let's see more about AGACAD and the history also in just a few slides. So next I will present the companies. Let's start with Arkance Systems, and of course also AGACAD is also a part of Arkance, so we are colleagues with Eve in that sense. Even though our company names are different, we still work under the same group in a sense. So Arkance Systems, our goal is to, especially here in Finland, help and guide the construction industry in the digitalization change. So that's what we are here for, and that's why we are supplying the best-in-class software for the construction industry, the best-in-class add-ons for the software with our own development and with our partners' development from all around Europe, and also providing services related to this software. So it can be training, it can be implementation services. We always help our customers utilize the products that we are providing to them. So we are also always experts in the products we are providing and can help our customers with services related to them. Just Arkance Systems. Shortly, we are active in over 10 countries at this moment. There's around 500 employees all over Europe, founded in 1987, and currently it's around 165 million euros in turnover from the last year. And of course, what we do is provide software solutions and services for optimizing construction and manufacturing processes. In Finland, we are more focused on the construction processes and are not so active in the manufacturing field at the moment. So this is a bit about the big picture of Arkance Systems Group in Europe. And then we have the Arkance Systems in Finland, of course, which I am representing. So we are about 50 people working here, have our office in Espoo, in Mankkaa, even though it's mostly been remote now, which I'm sure everyone else has also had to get used to over the past years. We have a great customer satisfaction, as you can see. I already mentioned that we provide services related to the products and software that we are providing. So from last year's numbers, our customer satisfaction with our training services, we of course always ask for some feedback. So the customer satisfaction with training services, 4.5 out of 5 out of all the trainings we performed last year, which I guess is if not 100, at least multiple tens. Since myself, I also probably gave around over 10 training sessions. So, and we are 50 people. So it's a bunch of training that we are providing related to our software. And then we also have our own dedicated support team who are here to help with customers when they are facing problems with the software. So we have a very great support team, which is easy to contact. We have a chat, we have a phone line, of course, and we have the classic email. So we have a very fast response time, and the support team is, of course, full of experts there, help to solve problems related to the software or to other technical difficulties that customers may experience. And just in brief, some of our customers. So you can see we are active in almost all of the segments of the construction industry, providing solutions to everything from designers, owners, contractors to even projects. So we are definitely serving the whole industry in this sense, which you can also see that we have a large product portfolio. So we are able to service all different aspects of the construction industry, having solutions for all customers, which is also means that we of course have the knowledge how the solutions work together, which is very, very great. And next, take a short look at AGACAD. You can see have a long history, founded in 91. Now we are in 2022. So they have been developing BIM software add-ons for over 30 years now. If AGACAD if you're not familiar with the company, it's worldwide. Customers have clients in over 130 countries. There were over 13,000 clients around the world, and AGACAD is based in Lithuania. And you can see here are the three focus areas of AGACAD. So BIM content management and classification, and BIM for prefabrication, and digital asset inventories and BIM for facility management. And just on the next slide, I'll have a presentation of the different solutions for BIM software that AGACAD is providing. So you can see there's a lot of solutions covering a great space, mainly on top of, or I guess all are on top of Revit. So really to help elevate the use of Revit in design in different fields. Is there something I missed, Eve? Something you would like to add still to?
Yes, that's about right. We offer more than 30 complete solutions for prefabricated design, like timber, steel, and precast concrete construction, MEP engineering, and BIM data management based on the experience of professionals. During this presentation, we will talk about the wood framing software, but the metal framing software works very similar, as well as specialized solutions for, let's say, framing SIPs, CLT, oak, or ventilated facades and curtain walls and panels.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Next, I would shortly like to cover the status and the goals for wooden construction in Finland, just to give a quick update on where we are, maybe give some numbers to you if you are not familiar with the current programs that are ongoing in Finland, run, for example, by the government and also the Ministry of Environment. And I would also like to remind you, because I guess I maybe didn't say it in the beginning, that you can also use the chat and the Q&A function. And the Q&A, if you'll send something there, we will check it after the live demo, when we'll have some time to answer the questions. But to jump into the next topic, here we have a short recap of Finland's goals for wooden construction. So right now there is an ongoing wood building program by the Ministry of Environment. It's running until the end of this year, and here are some of the focus areas and the goals of the program. So there are four main goals, which are to reduce the carbon footprint of construction, support the sustainable and sensible tending of forests, increase the use of wood in urban development, public buildings and light construction, and also, of course, strengthen the skills base in the industry, and also to update the legislation and regulation, since that is something that there has been quite a lot of talk about, that it's quite stiff. The requirements are really not accelerating the use of wood in construction at the moment. And there are some pretty nice goals for the wooden public construction. So during the current government period, which started in 2019 and is running until 2023, the goal is to double the amount of wooden construction. And also the goals for wooden public construction are presented here. So the goal is that 45% of all public construction would be wooden construction in 2025, which means that means schools, that means sports facilities. That means all of this kind of public spaces you can utilize. So there is definitely, well, right now the goal is 31, so there is still some growth to be expected for the upcoming years. And here is also some links to the materials where you can, of course, find more detailed information. And just shortly, I would also like to cover the drivers and barriers of this development. So the drivers are probably familiar to quite many in the industry. But there is research has shown there's a very positive mindset towards wood construction in municipalities. Also, wooden elements are light and easy or quick to install. This is, of course, maybe the biggest topic that has been discussed is wood construction is seen as a solution to achieve climate targets. But then there is also a big part, which is the possible export of these wooden products and knowledge, because the export has been certainly higher in the past, and now there is a great opportunity to open this export business again, if we in Finland manage to get on to position ourselves as expert in wooden construction. And of course, related to the climate targets, wooden construction has a competitive advantage in the life cycle emission comparisons. But of course, there are also some barriers that we are trying to tackle. So as by software and other companies, of course, by other means. So in many places, there is still a feeling that the understanding of costs related to wood construction is not as well understood as, for example, concrete. Also, what might be a problem in the future if wooden construction becomes really popular is the fragmentation and the quite moderate number of wood element manufacturers. It also means that currently the production capacity in Finland is not very high. And then, of course, we have the trouble which is common in other areas also about finding the skilled workforce, both for the element factories and also for the designers. So there is it's relevant in many fields, the lack of skilled workforce, but that is definitely a barrier here also. And just shortly before I let Eve get to her live demo, I'll give a quick slide about the main benefits of this AGACAD Wood Framing Suite. So the AGACAD Wood Framing Suite is a tool on top of Revit for structural engineers to do also detailing, documentation, and construction. And the main benefits is, of course, to design faster, to complement the tools in Revit, to even elevate them, make them better, and to avoid errors. So we are able to copy and update framing elements and documentation for identical components. This reduces the time needed, especially for large-scale projects, when you are just able to copy the solution to different places in the model. Of course, to design prefabricated elements means also we don't need to do separate drafting, and the results are visible in real time. We can just focus on the model doing the design. And the wood framing suite also, of course, generates views with the right dimensions, the bills of materials, and shop drawings. So also reduces that manual work. And since it's fast to use, it also means we can explore different options and make decisions earlier on in the design process, and of course also explore these options quicker. And the frames dynamically update according to the modifications. So shop drawings and cut lists are always accurate that are being sent out. But now I'll let Eve take the screen.
Okay, thank you. So I will
the live demonstration.
I will share my screen right now. I hope everyone can see it.
Yes, it's okay. At least it's working for me.
Okay, great. So wood framing software that I will demonstrate right now is for construction of single or multi-layer timber frame walls, floors, and roofs. It automates framing prefabricated panels, rafters, and trusses, as well as specialized solutions I already mentioned, like SIPs, CLT, or heavy timber. So today I'm going to show you a demonstration on the walls, but just know that solutions for floors and roofs or other structures work in a very similar manner. So our software works as an external application in Revit. So before using our software, you have to have a simple architectural model created in Revit that's created out of walls, floors, and roofs, just basic Revit families. And then you have to do a few small steps before starting to work with the software. And that is why I highly recommend visiting the eHelp pages if you'll decide to download a trial, because in the eHelp pages, you'll find a lot of useful information like technical documentation, where a lot of features are described, then sample and template projects that you can download and try to use the software by yourself, and getting started videos. In these videos, we very clearly explain the basic steps that you should do before framing and how to start quickly. So I really recommend watching those if you'll decide to download a trial. So here I already have the tool, and I already have the project where some of the walls and floors are framed and some of them are empty. So during this presentation, let's frame the empty walls. I've already made the essential steps. I loaded the sample families to my project. All of these elements that you can see right now are loaded automatically with the software. They're all parametric, so you can very easily create your own types and expand the library based on your own needs. But you'll have something to start from. And then also, as I mentioned, we have the walls created in Revit. So we also have sample configurations that came together with the software. So now I can click on link wall, and basically to each layer of this wall, you can see I have a multi-layer wall here. This is the structure. These are the thicknesses of my layers. And here I can say what kind of layer do I want to have, whether it's the main frame or vertical nailers, sidings, and so on. So this is completely up to you. It's only an example. You can create your own structure and then assign a configuration. So a configuration is basically a rule by which the elements will be distributed. So now, when the families are loaded, the link is created. I can just basically select the walls that I want to frame, click on Frame Wall, and that's it. Now the tool will distribute all structural framing elements to these walls automatically. So you'll see the vertical studs, the top and bottom plates. It will also frame around the openings correctly based on the rules that were created. So it's really flexible because each company basically, not even each country, but each company has their own specific rules for L connections, end connections, for framing around various sizes and types of openings. So we created having this in mind so that it would be very flexible. And now you can see that once you already have the rules, the process is really fast. So I just framed 3 walls automatically. The software now distributed the main frame. And all of these elements were distributed by the framing configuration. Right now, I used the sample one, but of course, you can create your own. So right here in this window, we can create the configurations, and we can create them, as I mentioned, for frame, for nailers, for siding, even for the wooden log. But let's see now, focus on the main frame, and this is the sample configuration name. So together with the trial, you would also have this rule, and you will be able to try it out. But let's say you're ready to create your own rule, so you can just save it using your own name, make all of the changes right here, and they need to be created only one time. So you can create the configurations for your own company standards, place it on a server so that all of your colleagues would be able to access them, and then that's it. You can use them from project to project. So yeah, in these configurations, basically in each window, you just choose the element type that you want to use and how you want to distribute it. So here under vertical stud tab, you can see that you can choose the element type. For the vertical stud, there are a lot of types to choose from, and you can also create your own. And then the spacing for the studs. And a similar story goes for all of these elements. So we have top plates. I said that I want to have 2 top plates. I can have 1. The same goes for the bottom plate, and we can also add offsets for each layer. Then we can also create rules how openings are framed. So we can frame windows, doors, or MEP openings and openings that are joined together differently. We can also frame openings differently depending on their size. And here we can predefine king studs, cribbles, headers, and so on. And then we have framing for connections. So the software identifies different types of connections from your model, whether it's an L connection, N connection, V connection, or T connection. And again, you can create your own rules, how elements should be added, maybe you want to remove something, and so on. And then we can also add grid studs, and blocking and nogging is for all horizontal elements that are in your frame. So right now I used this sample rule, and you can see that once the rule is already created, it works really fast. And anytime we can update the rule, we can modify it and then update all of the changes. And there are a lot of ways how we can modify the frame. So let's say I'll show you a few most popular ones. So I will modify the architectural model. Let's say there was a change and the frame is no longer correct based on the architecture. So anytime I can update the frame, and the tool will update all of the structural framing elements automatically. So now you can see it's no longer right. So I can update it. And of course, I'm not only creating the 3D model right here, but I will be able to generate the shop drawings and cut lists automatically, or even export to CNC machines. So these update features, they help a lot because I will have this update throughout the whole process, throughout all of the stages that I need. And you can see that they're updated. And in the same manner, I can add another opening or change the shape of the wall, anything. And now also, we can modify instances of the configurations, or we can add additional elements if we need to make the frame stronger in some specific location. So let's say that maybe you want to hang something here, or you have a beam that should be supported by this wall, and you need an additional stud or a bridging element. You can add anything even after creating the frame, and you can add them automatically. So I will see that this element is split at each stud. It should be rotated, let's say, and aligned to the internal side of the wall. So you can see these layouts are very flexible. And I will add 2 rows. Let's say this will be the offset from the bottom of the first row. Okay, and this will be the spacing between the 2 rows. And that's it. Now the software will add additional elements, and they will, of course, be included in the schedules and everywhere else. So it's really easy to modify the frames based on the architecture, or if we want to add additional elements. And of course, there are a lot more ways. So now you can see that additional elements were added. And the features to modify the frames, which features are we going to use, are very, very specific because each client will need different workflows. So there are a lot of options. So we can align elements, cut, delete, move, and rotate them, trim and extend them, split them. There are a lot of ways how we can modify them. But let's see now that I'm done modifying the frame, and I'm ready to create other layers because here you can see I have a multi-layer wall frame. And before adding other layers also, I want to show you that we can also distribute even structural connection elements to our frames. So I can use add or modify details, and I can distribute various hangers, bolts, or clip angles. And again, now I'm going to use our sample configuration that comes together with the software. But of course, you can create your own rules and add your own elements to the frame. And you can see they found the intersections automatically, they were distributed, and they automatically, of course, create cuts in structural framing elements. And now, when I've added the details, I can add other layers to my wall. So the configurations are created in a very similar way, and now we can distribute secondary frames, vertical or horizontal layers, and siding. And again, the structure of the walls that I'm framing right now is an example. It's very flexible, and you can create your own structure. So just a reminder, don't forget to ask questions under Q&A, and in the end of the demonstration, I will try to answer them. Okay, and here you can see that the secondary frame was added, and also all of the elements from the secondary frame, they're automatically aligned with the main frame. Okay, and now also we can add other layers. So we have 3 more layers to this wall. So now I'm going to add the nailers. And actually, I'm going to add right now 4 layers in total because I have 2 layers of nailers for each wall, vertical and horizontal. And of course, these other layers, we can also modify them, we can update them, and so on. Okay, so you can see that the elements are being distributed automatically to these walls. And now I will also split parts for these walls. And now you'll see how the sheathing or OSB layers can also be generated. And again, everything that I'm showing you on these walls is possible for the floors and for the roofs as well. The process is very similar and almost the same. Okay, so now I've just created an OSB layer. So let's take a look. I can show the parts, and you can see that OSB boards can also be split automatically on various different rules. For example, I think I have a different rule for the floors. Yeah, you can see the sheets are overlapping right here. So again, you can create anything based on your own standards. And now I will go back to the original view. Okay. And now finally, I have only 1 layer left for these walls, and that is the siding layer. And by the way, I can add all of these additional layers at once, but I'm showing you how to add them one by one, so only for presentation purposes. But we can add all additional layers just in one click, so it would be even faster. Yeah, and now you can see that once we have the rules, and we will have them after we, let's say, start using the software and create the first project. So then that's it. We have the rules, and the next project will be faster, the next one even faster, and so on. So with the software, you may need to invest a little bit of time upfront, but then you just open a new project and you already have the rules, you already have the element types that you need, and you start framing, and that's it. You can see that the multi-layer wall frames were created. And now, as I mentioned, we don't only get the 3D model from the software, it's a BIM model. So we can extract various information from it. We can generate shop drawings and schedules, cut lists automatically, and we can also export to CNC machines. So before creating the shop drawings, we actually need to number the elements. So the first thing that we have to do is number all of the walls, floors, and roofs, and the software does that for the whole project. So not only for these few walls that I just framed, but for all of them. And now you can't really see what it has done, but I will select a wall and show you that it just numbered all of the walls. So this will be the name of the assembly of this panel. And now when the walls are numbered, I can continue and number the parts and the structural framing elements. And numbering the elements, of course, it takes a little bit of time because the software fills in information for all of these elements in our project. But then that information is used in the shop drawings. We will see tags with this information. Also, this information will be added to the cut lists automatically and even exports to CNC. So it saves a lot of time and you need to use it only one time after the project is complete. And that's it. My elements, I think, are numbered, or have I numbered the parts only? No, I numbered the elements. Okay, so you can see that this information was filled in. So each element knows where it's located. This one, let's say, is located in wall number 4. It's a vertical stud number 1, inside the main frame of the wall. And this information is for all of these elements. And now when I numbered them, that's basically it. I can create the shop drawings. So just like with the framing, I have a configuration for the drawings where I can say what kind of views do I want to create, whether it's a front view, section view, plan view, and so on. Then out of multiple configurations that I create, let's say, for interior or for exterior walls, maybe I want different drawings. So I just need to choose the one that I want to use, and that's it. Now the software is generating automatically all of the schedules and drawings of this particular panel. And in these views, you will see that dimensions will be added automatically, tags will be added, and all of the information will be filled in. And while it's created, I will quickly open another project and I will show you how we can very easily copy the frames to identical modules. So we have multi-framing and framing in groups features. So I can say that this element is a group, and now I will name this group. Okay, sorry about that. I'll create a different name. So this will be group 12. And now I can copy this group and I can even mirror this group. So imagine that we have a lot of modules in our project and we want to frame them in the same way. So it would take us a lot of way to frame all of these identical walls one by one. And if we need to modify something, we need to modify it for each wall separately. But with the framing software, I can frame walls from one group and the frame will automatically be copied to all of the identical groups. And then it's the same story as you just saw. We can add other layers, we can modify the frames, the updates will update in all of the groups, and we can also create shop drawings of the whole module, not only for a single wall, but for the single module. So you can see that it will copy the frame, and anytime I can modify a group that is either the same or is copied, and the modification will be applied to all of the groups. Okay, and anytime I can modify the group, I can add or remove the walls from the group as well. Okay, and that's it. You can see that all of the groups were framed. And as I mentioned, this feature is mostly useful when we need to make changes. So now let's see, I will add an additional bridging, nogging, or blocking elements between these two. I will align them, let's say, to the external side this time. I will split it at each stud, and one row is enough, let's say. And you can see that yeah, sometimes we actually need to, and it's best to remove the wall from the group before modifying if we have mirrored groups. So we also have a workflow for that. We just need to remove the wall from the group. Yeah, so if you cannot modify it directly, you just remove it, then you modify it, and once you add it again, it will be added with the modifications. Okay, but now I will go back, and yeah, that's it. So now we can try to go back to this project, and the assembly is created. I just needed to remove the reference, from one dimensional. It's something probably with dimensions, but everything is fine. The shop drawings are created, and now I want to show you the result, that it's not only the 3D model, but all information will be added to the shop drawings and to the schedules and cut lists. So yeah, now this wall is a wall number 2, you can see, and we can find it under assemblies, and this is the one. So all of this information was just generated automatically. We can take a look. So we have a 3D view, an assembly front view, a detail section view, and you can see that everything was done automatically. Elements were dimensioned automatically. We can see the connections and so on. Then we have the frame front view, where again we can see elements are dimensioned, all of the additional bridging plate number 2, number 1, vertical stud number 1, the gravity point even is added, and the openings can be dimensioned automatically. And of course, the numbering and the dimensioning rules, they can be modified. Then we have frame and sheeting view, where you can see the sheeting, the frame is behind it. It's also dimensioned, the plan detail view, and all other views of our additional layers are also here, as well as the schedules, where all elements in our assembly or in each frame separately are calculated. And have in mind that, again, these are just sample schedules, so you can add or remove some information from these schedules based on your standards. But the important thing is that everything is calculated automatically. You can see the sort marks that were written in with our software. They're calculated. The framing member mass is here. The same thing goes for all of the other layers you can see. And the software even automatically adds these views to the sheets. You need to create a template beforehand, how you want to distribute them, and it's a one-time process. So then after that, you can just basically create the sheets for all of your walls, and you can see that the elements will be added to the sheets automatically. Everything is here. And yeah, that was basically the most important things that I wanted to show you today. And here I have just the same project where the whole building is framed. I chose to demonstrate you on the walls so that it would work faster for me during the webinar, but also I can just show you a few views where you can see that in Revit you can filter out some elements. So the whole building looks like this. We have also the roof frames. These are prefabricated panels, and I can see only the main frame structure right here, as well as the floors. And of course, I can see the elements with all layers. And I can even show you a section view where you can see how accurate we can create those offsets and extensions. So this is my floor panel. This is the panel of the second floor and of the first floor. So yeah, you can see that also we have the same thing for the roofs. So we have the shop drawings and schedules for our roof panels and floor panels as well. Okay, so I think that's all that I wanted to show you today. And now let's see if you had any questions maybe.
Yeah, I think we have one question.
Okay, so I can see that the question is, does this work also with wood logs and relevant machines? So I suppose you're asking, about wooden logs, and I showed it during one of the processes that I was talking about in the framing configuration. So if you'll download a trial as well, you will see that we have a sample rule for the wooden logs, and also we have sample families for the logs. So yes, it does work with the logs. You can try to download a trial version, then load the log families to your project, and instead of frame wall, you'll be using build log wall, and that's it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Eve. What a great presentation about the wood framing suite, and also got the question answered that we had here in the chat. I'll just take over the screen share for this last part of the webinar. So if we don't have other questions, I'm sure Eve can ask them if you still send them to the Q&A form. And then before we end this webinar, I would like to mention that we and our AGACAD has tools for BIM doc, which means that you can install this doc, which integrates directly into Revit. So you will have a certain sort of tool set in Revit, which includes all the tools available from AGACAD. So for all tools that normally are behind a subscription or other kind of payment, you are able to start a 2-week trial, and the doc also includes some free tools that can be useful. So just to mention that all of these tools can be tried out also for free for 2 weeks if you seem interested in them. So there is a trial version available, and you can find it both, of course, on AGACAD's website, but also on our Arkance Systemsin Finland website under the AGACAD software page. And if we don't have any more questions, I would just like to launch a last poll before we are about to end this session, which would be about asking whether you are interested in hearing more about Revit and AGACAD solutions even after this presentation. So you can feel free to answer yes or no to that question. And otherwise, I would like to thank everyone who has participated. You can be in touch with us at any time if you want to learn more about Autodesk or AGACAD solutions. And we will also send the link out to everyone who attended, of course, to everyone who registered. So you will receive that after a while. But if we have no further questions, and also just to end it, of course, this was the wood framing suite, but as we mentioned at the start of the webinar, there are also solutions for precast concrete, for example, a similar suite solution, which includes a lot of tools to help create precast elements in Revit, and similar to the metal framing and other suites that AGACAD has created. But thank you for following this webinar. I will now end it, and thank you, Eve, for co-hosting this with me.
Thank you as well. It was really nice, and everyone as well. I hope you found it helpful. And if you'll have any questions, you can contact us anytime after the webinar.
Thank you.